Good morning, everyone. It is the 1st of December, Friday. I have my board here. I'll be looking at that. So you'll see I'm not looking at the camera most of the time. This board was made, I made this months ago. I don't even remember, at least 6 months ago. You can find this on my other channel, in my playlist introducing this channel and how to free your mind. You should be able to find where I go over this board. I did it twice, actually. In both times I had the camera facing the board and going over the definitions of each thing, but I want to sort of do it. I want to do it for this channel, and do it differently, because I didn't get that many views on this, and this is like sort of foundational for everything I'm saying. So what we want is we want to live in truth, fact, and reality. Okay. And what we live in is an illusion and manipulation and skewing of the truth. Okay. So what is truth? Truth is conformity to facts or reality, as of statements to facts, words to thoughts, motives or actions to professions, exact accordance with what is, has been, or shall be. So that's as straightforward as you get, and unfortunately we don't live that. We don't live in that at all. We live in a land of doublespeak and, again, manipulations, illusions, lies, skewing of the truth, twisting of the truth. They are constantly rewriting history. You can't believe a damn thing in any fucking history book, because they have handpicked and everything that we are allowed access to has been distorted or somehow skewed however they want to skew it. The perspective changed on what it actually was. You have to really use your intellect and your ability to reason to be able to go through, to make it sense of any kind of history that they force feed us. So truth is a rare thing in our environment. Fact. What is a fact? A fact is anything done, an act, a deed, reality, truth, actuality. Okay? What's reality? Actual being or existence of anything in distinction from mere appearance. Let's say that again. Reality is the actual being or existence of anything separate from mere appearance. So, we are given, they take all of our freedom, they take all of our liberty, and what do they give us? The illusion, the appearance of safety, the appearance of they're going to take care of us, the appearance that they have all the answers, the appearance that everything's in their control, under control, and they got our best interests in mind. So they took the one reality we have, which is our sovereignty, our own authority, our liberty and freedom. They take that from us, but consensually we give it up in order for them to give us their breads and circuses, the illusion of their safety, the illusion of they're going to take care of us, that they have our best interest in mind. So it's a give and take, and that's why it's so important to reclaim your authority and take that back, because until you do, you are living under their thumb. You're living under their manipulations and the reality that they create for you by taking the one real thing that you have, which is your freedom and your liberty. So truth, fact, and reality. Okay, you can see how rare those are defined. Now, truth, fact, and reality, as I see it, okay, is natural, pure, and organic. So it's very simple. Truth, fact, and reality is extremely simple. It's easy to comprehend. It's easy to understand. It's easy. When you come across it, you know it. Like your instinct kicks in and you know it. You know it from inside to out. There's no denying it, okay? And so the basic of truth, fact, and reality, the basis of that, the foundation of that would be that it's natural, pure, and organic. Natural is produced or affected by nature or by the laws of growth, formation, or motion impressed on bodies or beings by unseen power. Nature, the existing order of things, all of creation, the material world or the world of matter and mind, the established or regular course of things. The established or regular course of things, not the manipulated, forced down this road, forced down this path, forced to believe this, forced to follow under social standards. That is not natural. Those are unnatural things. Natural is leaning upon your own understanding. Natural is not having to seek the knowledge or seek the answers outside of yourself. Purity, freedom from admixture with extraneous or superfluous matter. Cleanness, freedom from foulness or dirt. Freedom from guilt. Freedom from any sinister or improper views. Freedom from foreign idioms, from barbarous words or improper words or phrases. So purity is freedom from admixture with extraneous or superfluous matter. And what have they done since day one? They throw everything extraneous, everything superfluous on you, whether it be knowledge or entertainment or this or that, or you need these supplements. You're not going to be whole without a balanced diet. You're not going to be anything unless you go get a college education, right? That's not purity. We were born pure. All of us were born pure, without admixture, without anything added in. We came here with everything we needed, without any extraneous superfluous matter. We didn't come here with any extra baggage. We didn't come here with anything, extra that we didn't need. All of that was put on us. And there's a reason for that. The purpose is because it keeps you under their thumb. Because if you think that you need those things that are extraneous, that means those things have to come outside of yourself that you're not producing on your own. And therefore, you have to constantly seek outside yourself to keep that cup full. The freedom from guilt, the freedom from sinister, improper views. Look, they put all that on you. They constantly keep you in guilt. There's 50,000 laws on the books in America. They say you can't walk outside your front door without breaking at least a dozen laws at any given moment. So they put all this extraneous, superfluous shit on you to keep you in a guilt mind state, to keep you constantly thinking that you're doing in an improper view, that you're doing something wrong, that, oh, maybe I am wrong about this, maybe I am wrong. It can keep you constantly questioning yourself. That is just a classic abuser, predator kind of thing that they would do to their prey, to the person being abused, is to keep them under their thumb, to make them think that they're in the wrong, to make them think that they shouldn't exist. Inorganic. So pertaining to an organ or organs. So again, this would go back to natural, produced by the organs, arising from an organism. An organ is a part of an animal or vegetable body by which some action, operation, or function is carried on. So it's necessary, it's not extraneous, it's not extra, it's not superfluous. Organically, in an organic manner, with organs, with organical structure or disposition of parts. So it's necessary, guys. So do you understand? Okay, so this, I'm breaking it down pretty simply, hopefully, for people to understand. Again, if you want to actually see the definitions and me explaining in other ways, you can go to where I have 2 videos up where I went into this with the camera facing these definitions under my playlist on my other channel, Richard Swink. And the playlists are called Introducing This Channel, and the other playlist is How to Free Your Mind. So again, we want to live in truth, fact, and reality. That's all we want. That's where we find our peace, living in truth, fact, and reality. That's where we get away from disease, we get away from malcontent, we get away from anxiety and depression, we get away from feeling of lack and desire, by living in truth, fact, and reality. And the way to, our instinct knows, our inner being knows, our soul knows it's magnetically attracted to truth, fact, and reality. And that's because, and an easy way to tell truth, fact, and reality is it's natural, pure, and organic. It's necessary. It's a part of us. It's nothing extra. Doesn't feel like a burden when it comes on us. And it's just a part of the way it is. Let's see, where do I want to go with this board next? So how do we stay in true fact and reality? Okay, what we need to do is we need to pull our authority and mind back to ourselves. We need to reclaim our authority, recognize and admit things for what they are, face our shit. And when we're doing that, what we're going to start doing is, instead of putting our time and attention outside of us and putting things over top of us and worshiping all these fucking entities and people and industries and organizations and governments, we are going to start meditating on ourselves and what matters to us in our own experience, in our own situation. To meditate is to think or reflect upon, revolve in one's mind, to contemplate, to dwell on anything in thought, to turn or revolve a subject in the mind, to ruminate, to reflect. So meditate is literally to think, to use your processes of your brain to think. They are constantly one step ahead on society in keeping us corralled. And the way they do that is by hijacking our language and making things seem like something they're not. So what they did was, they started the New Age movement back in, whatever it was, the 60s. And that was a government operation to hijack that movement and to imbue it with their propaganda. Because what they did was they used the word meditate, they hijacked the word meditate and attached it to the New Age movement, this toxic New Age movement. And then people, anytime they would hear the word meditate, they'd laugh and they go, ha ha ha, only fucking crazy nut, only nuts meditate. When all meditate means is to think. So you have to reclaim these things. You have to take that power back from you. You got to say, no, fuck you. Meditate, it belongs to me. That's my word, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to incorporate it in my life because it's necessary for me to stay on this thin path of truth, fact, and reality. I need to meditate on these things to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be at any given moment. So meditate also means to contemplate. Sorry guys, it's cold out here. I know I'm spitting. It's damn cold. Meditate means to contemplate. What does contemplate mean? It means to view or consider with continued attention, to gaze upon, to behold, to view or regard mentally, to meditate on, to ponder on, to study, to muse. So we want to meditate and contemplate on our lives and our experiences and how we got here and why we're here and why our past happened the way it happened and why we feel the way we feel and why we're having these emotions and why we act and behave in the ways we act and behave. We're getting that through meditation and contemplation, we're going to be able to figure these things out. And in order to meditate and contemplate, what do we have to do? We have to give it attention. Our attention. Our attention is our only currency. Okay? This paper currency, the gold, the silver, the stocks, the bonds, the 401ks, that is not currency. That is all currency in the illusion. That is all currency in the game, in the fucking theatrics of this realm. The only currency we have is our attention. That is it. And you're either, think about it. What do they say? Pay attention. The teachers are constantly like, pay attention. Your government's like, pay attention. Everybody's like, pay attention. They want your attention because that is the most valuable currency in the world, is our individual attention. So what we need to do, we need to take that attention back, and instead of giving it outside of ourselves, we are going to refocus it inside. And what does attention mean? What is the definition of attention? The act of attending or heeding. The act of attending to, when you attend to something, you're giving it your care, your thought, right? Your time, your energy. The due application of the mind to any object presented for contemplation. The due application of the mind to any object presented for contemplation. So it's actually thinking. It's not just going, oh yeah, shit's fucked up. Oh, just the way it is. And then going on about, that's not contemplating. That's nothing. That's slavery. That's brain dead zombie. That's mindless minion bullshit. That's face down, ass up. The due application of the mind to any object presented for contemplation. So that is when you sit there and you think about something, you're not just going, oh, just the way it is. Well, everybody else does it. Well, go along to get along. No, you are going to reason, use your ability to reason and work that through and then act accordingly. That is contemplation, because most people don't want to do this because this is what causes cognitive dissonance. So instead of actually using their contemplation and meditating on these things and working out, and because then you find the solutions, and that's the problem. People are afraid to find the solutions because all the solutions are inside. The solutions are not what they have rested and given their authority over to these outside figures from outside of themselves. So they're afraid of the answer. So what do? They realize they're getting fucked by the man. They realize they're getting fucked by the government. They realize they're being played and abused and used. And what do they have to do? They have to constantly defend these users and abusers. They have to constantly defend and come to the defense of these controllers, these manipulators, because otherwise they are stuck in cognitive dissonance. And the only other way to get out of that cognitive dissonance is to sit there and continue to contemplate and meditate on whatever the issue is and come to your own solution. And because we've been taught since babies, again, them putting us in this fight or flight mode, in this survival mode, because we've been taught since then that we have to rely on another for our salvation, for our safety, for our security, for our answers, for everything. It's uncomfortable. It's the most uncomfortable thing someone can do, is to rely on themselves and to think things through fully and come to their own conclusions. Attention is, let's see. Okay, so that's attention. Mental concentration, okay? And along with all this, along with when you're meditating, contemplating, it takes your attention, right? To meditate, contemplate, you're thinking, you're not just rolling over things quickly. You're thinking about them. You're working your way through them. And why? Because you're giving it your intention. Intention is design, purpose, the fixed direction of the mind to an object, end, or aim. The fixed direction of the mind to an object, end, or aim. And what is the object, end, or aim? When you're contemplating, you're meditating on an issue, you're trying to find a solution. You're not saying, oh, well, it's just the way it is. It's an object to intention, is an object to be accomplished. The state of being strained. In logic, a concept or general apprehension gathered from other concepts as objects. Intention, a stretching out, exertion, or purpose, a stretching or bending of the mind as toward an object. Hence, uncommon exertion of the intellectual faculties. Closeness of application. Fixedness of attention. Earnestness. So we are constantly giving our intention away. Our intention should be focused on healing, on being healthy, on our well-being mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. But instead, we just are constantly seeking and putting our intention towards dopamine hits and feeling good and being happy and false positivity and ignoring the truth and ignoring the facts and reality and just, if everybody's agreeing everything's okay, I'm just going to agree everything's okay and I'll put my intention towards that. And so we're living in an illusion until we take all of that back and refocus it on ourselves and work through these things with our intention of seeking answers, of seeking our own solutions, of seeking our own truth. Then we are stuck in these games, in these realms of horseshit. Okay, so the other thing to touch on would be, in this whole process, again, we are moving away from being bred as mindless minions and brain dead zombies and followers to becoming our own authentic, original, sovereign self. And in order to do that, we have to use the faculties of our mind. What is the faculty? A faculty is the ability, the capability. So not only are you able to use your mind, you're capable to use your mind. Faculty is a power. It's our power. That power of the mind or intellect, which enables it to receive, revive, or modify perceptions. So along this journey, you will have, through using your faculty of your mind, when you break off and you start doing your own thing and start thinking for yourself and contemplating, meditating on these issues and coming to your own solutions, our programming has been so fucked from day one that what this matrix is going to do is, whether it be through your family, society, your friends, whatever, you're going to find that you are constantly readjusting and reevaluating those answers that you're coming to, because as you're healing and peeling away layers of the bullshit and getting down to the nitty gritty, you realize it keeps on going. The conclusions you're coming to in the first couple months of your healing process and reclaiming your authority and thinking for yourself are not going to be the same conclusions you come to 2 years from then. And therefore, you have to be easy on yourself, and you have to allow yourself to revive or modify your perceptions and your answers. Because one of the ways that the Matrix will try to kick your feet out from under you and get you toeing the line again for the illusion is by shaming and guilting you every time that you realize, oh man, that conclusion I came to 6 months ago no longer holds. And it worked up until now, but now that I've gotten deeper, I have found that this is actually, it's a deeper than that. This is actually the answer. So I was wrong about that. And so the Mexican goes, see, you're wrong. How in the hell? Who do you? You're not an expert. You didn't go to college. You don't have a degree. You don't have a certificate. Who are you? You're not a psychologist. You're not a psychiatrist. You're not a doctor. You're not a teacher. You're not a lawyer. You're not a government agent. And they're going to point at you and make you feel stupid and dumb and try to draw you back into their game, because they're nothing without you. Why would they care? Why would they even care? Why would they fucking take the time to sit there and point fingers and make fun of you and shame you and guilt you and try to get you back on their side? Because they need that support of all of these different humans in order to validate their bullshit. Because without everybody validating their fantasy that they've made and these illusions that they've made, they're nothing. It's bullshit. It's horse shit. Okay, so faculties of the mind. The first faculty of the mind we're going to go over is reason. Reason is the highest faculty of the human mind by which man is distinguished from brutes, and which enables him to contemplate things, spiritual as well as physical, to weigh all that can be said or thought for and against them, and hence to draw conclusions and to act accordingly. This is so important. Your faculty of reason is your personal responsibility to use. It is your power. You have the ability and the capability, and it's your personal responsibility to initiate that power and use that power. The faculty of reasoning. The highest faculty of the human mind by which man is distinguished from brutes, and which enables him to contemplate things both spiritual as well as physical, to weigh all that can be said or thought for and against them, and hence to draw conclusions and to act accordingly. Again, through this process of healing, as you're slowly reclaiming your power of your mind and starting to reason, instead of just having that hive mind and that follower mind set of, well, I'm just going to go along with the crowd and never thinking about anything, and I just, as long as I got my dopamine hits and I got my cigarettes and I got my video games and I got my TV and I got my sports stars that I can worship and bow down to and keep me busy, so I don't have to think about my issues, my problems, why I act and behave the way I do, why I'm enslaved to this fucking system monetarily, physically, emotionally. And so when you first start taking back that reasoning, you got to think, guys, you're oiling a system that you haven't used probably your whole fucking life. So again, you're going to come, when you first start reasoning, you're going to come to different conclusions in the first couple months and solutions to get you out of your hole. And then 6 months later, you're going to, as you go back and rehash in these things and think even deeper on these things, you're going to come to different conclusions, and you're going to have to change your course of action accordingly through your reasoning, because your reasoning now is going to be able to process so much better. It's like upgrading the CPU on a computer from a fucking, computer back in the 80s to a computer in the 2000s. And then as you get even deeper, it's like having a supercomputer in the 2020s. So you're going to come to these, and you have to be easy on yourself. You have to allow yourself to change. You can't be stuck in your ways. Again, being stuck in your ways and stuck into an idea and an ideology, that is all comes from ego. That all comes from wanting self-validation and being self-righteous and justification of your actions. And no, that all comes from ego and the old man, the straw man, the elusive man, the ego, the entity that they kicked in at birth to take over and kick the soul in the back seat to drive this avatar. That's the one we're trying to kill. That's the one we're beating down. That's the one we're beating up. That's the one we're pounding back into the ground. That's the one where our soul is just crushing constantly now with this healing. So there's no room to be like sticking to our guns on every issue. We are growing as that that soul is already all encompassing, but what it's doing it's retaking over this physical avatar that's been living as a nasty, dirty thing, poisoning itself for decades until we start our healing process. Another definition of reason is that which is thought or alleged in words as the ground or cause of opinion, conclusion, or determination. The cause, principle, or motive of anything said or done. Right judgment, the act of deducing consequences from premises. Okay, so another faculty of the mind is intellect. That faculty of the human soul or mind which receives or comprehends the ideas communicated to it by the senses or by perception or by other means. The faculty of thinking, a perceiving, understanding. So intellect, we are so highly intellectual, guys, it's unbelievable. They have beat us up our whole lives, put us in the stupid ass indoctrination systems from the age of 5 to 18, telling us we need to even have more indoctrination after that because we're stupid and we don't know anything. And in order for us to prove that we know something, we have to have some kind of fucking degree or piece of paper, a diploma or some horse shit like that. That is the dumbest fucking shit in the world. No, we are all born highly intellectual, extremely intellectual, because what is intellect? The faculty of the human soul or mind which receives or comprehends the ideas communicated to it by the senses or by perception or by other means. The faculty of thinking, of perceiving and understanding. How do we arrive at that? By meditating and contemplating, by looking inside, we become intellectual by going inside. Instead of we are not intellectuals by attaining the world's useless knowledge, by attaining the world's useless degrees and education. That is not intellect. Intellect is being able to use our own faculties of our mind and then perceiving and understanding what we're thinking and relying on our own self in sense. Our own senses. It says that faculty of the human or soul or mind which receives or comprehends the ideas communicated not from outside, not the ideas communicated by an outside source, but communicated to it by our senses or by our own perception. Okay? What is a sense? A sense is perception of the mind. It's a sensation, a feeling, apprehension through the intellect, recognition, understanding, discernment, the faculty of thinking and feeling. Feeling is actually a faculty, guys. But see, the problem is that the feeling that we know of is that crazy emotional ups and downs and jackknife turn type of feelings, of our emotions going haywire. That is not feeling. Feeling is the way of our system communicating, and we've been told to disregard those things that we feel because it doesn't align with the narrative. It doesn't align with what the controllers have for us. And we're not allowed to feel because feeling is knowing. Feeling is perceiving. Feeling is understanding. Feeling is necessary. It's natural. Again, all swinging back to truth, fact, and reality, and it being natural, pure, and organic. That is our feeling. So hopefully that gives everybody a little bit better. Let's see. Do I want to go into these? I guess I will. Why not? Understand. Okay. Because when we do this, we start to understand. And understand means to apprehend or comprehend fully. To know or apprehend the meaning, import, intention, or motive of. To understand is to simply receive into the intellect. To comprehend is to embrace as a subject in all relations and dependencies. To understand is to simply receive into the intellect. So understanding just means meditate and contemplate anything and taking it in and running it through your process of reasoning. That's what understanding is. It's that simple. You know, and the controllers are constantly the abusive teachers and controllers of this world. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? No, I don't. I understand. If that means, if you, by understand, you are trying to ask me, do I receive into my intellect what the fuck you're saying? I do, and I understand it's all fucking horse shit. To know, how do we know something? What is knowing? To perceive with certainty, to understand clearly, okay? So all this education, everything they force upon us, we can't understand it clearly without using facilities that are necessary, that are extraneous and superfluous to what is natural. To understand clearly, to know, is extremely simple. Again, it all comes back to we were given everything we need at birth. We are intellectual. So we already know. We were born knowing. What happened was our parents, acting as agents of the state, after they name, number, and catalog us into this system with our social security number and the system of taxation and this whole illusion, they then proceed to teach us how to eat, how to sleep, how to relate to people, how to act, how to do this, how to do that, because our parents act in a way that shows us that we are fools and idiots, and that we know nothing, and that we are under and below everything, and that we are the lowest of the low, and we have to crawl, every day, every year of our lives, we're slowly climbing the ladder of success and status and social order, and it's all horse shit. It's all an illusion. We were born with everything we need. So wise, we all want to be wise. What is wise? I'm going to take this off the board because there's writing on the back of it. Wise is having the power of discerning and judging correctly, or of discriminating between what is true and what is false, between what is proper and improper, possessed of discernment, judgment, and discretion. So being wise is being able to discriminate between what is true and false. And that's part of this healing process. We were unwise. We were fools because we went along so long with this fucking construct and with this illusion just to go along, to get along, and to play the game. And now with our healing, we're finally discriminating between what is true. We are becoming wise. We are walking in the way of wisdom. What is wisdom? Faculty of making the best use of knowledge, a combination of discernment, judgment, sagacity, and similar powers. Quickness of intellect, readiness of apprehension. That means readiness of apprehension, readiness to, when someone comes across to us with their bullshit, we are ready. We are at the ready. Our mind, our intellect is ready. It's not sitting there like a sponge ready to just take whatever somebody wants to shove into our brains. We are actually going to think and use our apprehension, like, hold up, let me run this through my faculty of reason. That is wisdom. It's not just accepting and putting your face down, your ass up for any cocksucker to come along and plug you. So that's wise. That's what we all want to attain to. That's what, we're coming to back into our wisdom by exercising our own authority and exercising the faculty of our mind. And then, of course, we are reclaiming by reclaiming our authority, we are asserting our will. Okay, we are now going to assert our will, whereas before we were just mindless minion, just a lemming following the other one right off the cliff or wherever the other one was going. That's right where we were going. Go along, don't step out of bounds, just stay right there. So by doing this healing, by breaking out and thinking for ourselves, by doing this, we are now going to start asserting our will. What is will? The faculty or power of the mind by which we determine either to do or not to do something, which we conceive to be in our power. The faculty which is exercised in deciding among two or more objects which we shall embrace or pursue. So over here we have us. We have our own individual goals, sovereignty, being, health, and well-being. Over here we have the group, we have the illusion, we have the stage show, we have the politics, the industries, the governments, the celebrity, the breads and circuses. So by now choosing our healing, we are now choosing this for the first time ever and placing this and putting this, casting it aside, and now using our will, asserting our will to focus all these powers that we have on us. Will also means the power of control which the mind possesses over its own operations. So again, we are reclaiming our authority by asserting our will. We are taking the power of control back, which the mind possesses over its own operations, instead of just blindly going and excusing everything and saying, well, it's just the way it is. Well, if you don't like the way it is in America, move somewhere else. Land of the free, home of the brave, and well, prove to me how it's well, it just is. Look at the flag, and just blindly being an ignoramus, an ignorant, non-thinking, hive-minded follower, group-thinking follower that relies on the efficacy of the safety of another. We are now being courageous and taking our personal responsibility, taking our power back, and being disciplined. So I hope that breaks it down for you guys pretty good. Like I said, you can find this where I go over much quicker than I did now and not in as much detail, but you can see all the you can pause the video and actually see all my definitions and everything on my other channel, Richard Swink, and it's under the playlist introducing this channel. It's also under the playlist of how to free your mind.